a one-time senior advisor to the former Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. His name is Berney Flowers. He's a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, now a candidate for the U.S. House in the great state of Maryland. Lieutenant Colonel, thank you for your service, first of all, and welcome to the show.
Ed, thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Berney, my understanding is that while you were still serving in the military, you were basically a non-political advisor to Secretary Mayorkas. He was obviously a lightning rod in the last administration. You were working on Defense Department, other security issues. And you came away from that experience saying basically too much money was going to illegal immigrants, not enough money going to Americans. What did you see up close? Because Mayorkas kept telling us we had to pass a bill in Congress to solve the border crisis. Then, in fairness, President Trump comes in and like in a few days, it seems like the problem has been largely solved. What did you see up close? What was going wrong?
It was just extraordinarily crazy because we were right in the middle of COVID. So the majority of the people working in the federal government and specifically DHS, they were working from home because of COVID. In the meantime, while I was there, we brought literally 85,000 and eventually turned out to be, 100,000, over 100,000 Afghans into the United States for Operation Allies Welcome. And we did that, but we told the American people that we were vetting these people for security, for COVID, for disease, for psychological profiles, for whatever. And the issue of the day is Mr. Mayorkas told the American people that we were doing a good job vetting these folks, and we were not. And I find that to be absolutely abhorrent. And to tell you the truth, I resigned in protest.
Wow.
We did a very, very poor job for our people. And the oath that I took when I was 22 years old going into the Air Force is still valid. So I'm glad to see President Trump making good on the promises to the American people. They deserve the best.
Well, sir, as I said, we certainly appreciate your service because it appears that you were trying to be non-political and just do a good job, which is what we try to talk about every night. I want to get to New Orleans and what's happening in real time, but I have to ask you about the Afghan program that you mentioned, if you saw it up close. How did Mayorkas get away with lying to the American people? We've talked about it on the show before. You were on in recent nights. Now we have a National Guardswoman, as you know, who tragically was killed on the streets of Washington, D.C. A National Guardsman has been grievously wounded, but we believe, according to the president, he's going to survive. We continue to monitor that situation. But how could they look us in the eye and say, we're going to vet these refugees? I mean, we are a welcoming people. If someone comes in through legally and we vet them, let's have them in America. What went wrong?
I just think it was a failure of conscience. The entire Biden administration at a very, very senior level, Kamala Harris, remember, she was supposed to be the border czar. Their entire administration was just foul. And, with me, I cut my career short. I did 34 years of time between the Air Force and DOD and eventually DHS. But the issue of the day is we as civil servants have a responsibility to the American people. And for whatever reason, the Biden administration didn't see fit to honor that responsibility. And I will forever hold them accountable.
Absolutely, and they should be held accountable. Let's talk about New Orleans. When you hear the Border Patrol chief in that exclusive with our correspondent say, why not go into the jails in a place like New Orleans? And because of these sanctuary policies, whether it's New Orleans, Chicago, New York, you name these blue cities, DHS, whether it's Border Patrol or ICE, they can't go into the jails and get some of these criminals. Isn't it common sense that we go in there and get them?
It's common sense for American people that are America First type folks. But you know as well as I do that the liberal establishment in that New Orleans area, they're anti-Trump. They don't care whether they help the American people or not. They don't care about the people of New Orleans. I know that sounds like a strong statement. They're more interested in stopping Trump and whatever he's trying to do. And, from my experience, the 3.5 decades I spent working for the federal government in various capacities, the president is doing the best that he can, and he's America first. He's trying to do what he can for the people of the area, and they deserve safety. And for whatever reason, the sanctuary cities, I believe, should be cooperating with ICE and Border Patrol and the National Guard when eventually they come. Don't understand why they're not cooperating.
Last 30 seconds we have. What part of Maryland? I used to live in the state. Are you running? You running? I got to be honest. I don't know if you're running as a Republican or a Democrat. I think a Republican. I heard you say you're a Republicrat. Where are you running? What part of the state, and how are you going to win this race?
I'm going to win this race through grassroots. Yes, I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. As a military guy, I believe in God, country, and family. And we're going to try to bring that to the people of District 3. District 3 goes all the way from the shore in the east, all the way to the far edge of Carroll County, takes over all of
Yeah.
Howard County and Anne Arundel County. But the bottom line is we got some patriots here, and I think we can win this thing with your help.
Well, we're going to have you back in the days ahead, and we're going to let the American people hear the truth. And if they respond, we wish you all the luck in the world. You're going to be the pride of Ocean City and the Eastern Shore, I bet. Bernie
Outstanding.
Flowers, thanks for your service.
Thank you.